Let's get it. Hi, it's Jordy Lemire. On the follow spot.
Thank you.
Audio?
In 1904, Prime Minister Wilfrid Laurier announced, "It is on our 150th birthday, as we take stock of who we are, we find we are one of the most multicultural nations on earth, with more than 200 ethnic origins. We have abundant natural resources, water, timber, oil, metals. We have created some of the world's most livable cities, and some of the best hockey players. The journey wasn't smooth, but it's what made us. The First Nations arrived 15,000 years ago. They adapted to the land and climate and integrated their belief system with nature. The first Europeans had more trouble adapting to the land. In 1834, Jacques Cartier looked at Newfoundland and said, "I am inclined to believe that this is the land God gave to me." In 1759, French and English clashed on the Plains of Abraham. By 1812, we were united in a war against the United States. Outnumbered and outgunned, we emerged victorious 2 years later. In the West, David Thompson, the greatest land geographer who ever lived, as he was later called, walked and paddled more than 50,000 square kilometers, and we expanded west to fill those spaces he had mapped. In 1864, John A. Macdonald said, "There may be obstructions, local differences may arise, disputes may occur, local jealousies may intervene, but it matters not. The union of the colonies of British North America under one sovereign is a fixed fact." It wasn't a fixed fact, not yet, and local differences did arise. They still do. But on July 1st, 1867, we became a nation. In 1914, we went to war against Germany, following Britain's lead. In April 1917, the Canadian Expeditionary Force assaulted Vimy Ridge in France. It was a proving ground for Canada's troops. The casualties were high, more than 10,000, with 3,600 dead. But the assault was a success. The Canadians had accomplished what the French and British couldn't, and Vimy became a touchstone for Canadian nationalism. In 1939, we came to Britain's aid once more, as allies this time, rather than a colony. The Second World War was a defining event for Canada. More than 1 million Canadians served. Once more, we proved our worth, at Caen, at Ortona, at Dieppe. In 1967, we celebrated our centennial, and the world came to Montreal. In 1972, our faith was shaken, but we were uplifted by Henderson's goal.
Here's another shot, right by the sword! And swords are clear now. Henderson, on the left. And the plans of the team are going wild.
We were given long winters and great distances. We gave ourselves diversity and tolerance. We have given the world 22 Nobel Prize winners, the concept of peacekeeping, Captain James T. Kirk, Drake, Alice Munro, Leonard Cohen, and a model of diversity for the 21st century. And as we look at ourselves at the age of 150, we're still young, still growing, and still believe the best is yet to come.
Welcome to Canada, everyone.
My name is David, and this is Rebecca, and we are very excited to be the MCs for the opening ceremonies.
We would like to take this time to thank the very talented Canadian and local photographer Bill Pratt for his breathtaking photos of our beautiful country.
We would also like to thank Madame Gendron and the band for the beautiful Canadian folk songs.
Before we continue, we would like to invite Ashbury College's headmaster to the stage. Please welcome Mr. Southward.
President of Round Square, His Majesty King Constantine, Her Majesty Queen Anne-Marie, members of the Round Square Board and Management Team, and visiting Round Square school delegations, governors, heads, Round Square representatives, and of course, students. I'm Norman Southward, head of school here at Ashbury College, and on behalf of our entire school community, I am delighted to welcome you to Ashbury College and to Canada's national capital. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue à notre école et à notre capitale nationale, la ville d'Ottawa. We are coming together for a conference on this traditional territory of the Algonquin nations. Érigée sur des terres ancestrales algonquines, notre école date depuis 1891. Cependant, la reconnaissance de nos 127 ans est seulement une partie de notre histoire nationale. During this conference, you will explore much about each other, the differences and ideas you each bring, and perhaps more about our country and those who are indigenous to our lands. We are a nation that measures at its greatest points 4,600 kilometers from north to south and 5,500 kilometers from east to west, with indigenous populations dating back to time immemorial, and French and English settlers first arriving nearly 500 and 250 years ago, respectively. Evolving as an independent country over 150 years ago, Canada has proudly developed and strengthened with immigration from every corner of the world. And today, as we support those who are too often forced to migrate due to conflict and strife, we continue to seek both truth and reconciliation with First Nations of these lands. The nearly 60 flags that fly on our campus today represent the diverse nationalities of our current student body. 700 students from grades 4 to 12, all here today, including 110 boarders and over 100 students from diplomatic missions to Canada. Your presence today brings another 30+ nationalities to campus, as close to 100 nations are represented in this room today. What an opportunity this presents to all of us as you bring your difference to our school, our country, and to the Round Square network. As you engage with the ideals of Round Square over the coming days, consider how your experiences will interact with difference, and try and think of diversity in its broadest sense, beyond simple demographics. Later this week, some delegates will visit the Aga Khan Foundation, And defined simply by the center, pluralism is an ethic of respect for diversity. Whereas diversity is a fact, pluralism is a choice. Pluralism results from the daily decisions that recognize and value human differences, where people with different identities and multiple viewpoints seek to find a balance between competing values and then live with those results. You have been purposeful about being here today, and this conference will challenge us with perspectives and issues that may differ from our own. If we are to affirm an outlook of global citizenship that is captured so well within the Round Square ethos, we must be intentional in asking respectful and often difficult questions of each other in our dialogue. And as a collective of Round Square schools, we have this opportunity when we break out into baraza groups over the next few days. Ashbury has welcomed the world in the past, including school children evacuees from the United Kingdom during the Second World War, and more recently, Syrian refugees to Ottawa and to Ashbury. Today, we are privileged to welcome the world once again in a different way with 60 school delegations, not by circumstance, but by choice. Round Square was established under a set of ideals in troubled global times, with a strong influence by international education. The foremost task of education as ensuring the survival of the following qualities: an enterprising curiosity, an undefeatable spirit, tenacity in pursuit, readiness for sensible self-denial, and above all, compassion. As host school and nation, we will certainly celebrate the uniqueness of Canada with a view that is compassionate and outwardly facing to the world. The lens of pluralism can perhaps bridge rather than erase human differences and foster a sense of place and belonging wherever we may live. This conference is both student-initiated and student-led. Yasmin Chowdhury, who graduated from Ashbury with her IB diploma in June of last year, is currently studying at Queen's University here in Canada, approached the school 3 years ago about hosting the conference. Since that time, students and staff have mobilized and partnered with Lower Canada College in Montreal and Appleby College near Toronto to bring the network of Round Square schools to Canada. And I'm pleased for all of us that she stepped out and took this initiative. Thank you to Yasmin and to all of the students, staff, and families who took the lead in organizing this exciting program. Nous sommes rassemblés ici à Ottawa afin de créer un climat qui est sensible à toute différence dans nos écoles et dans nos pays. Aux délégués, je vous félicite pour votre détermination et votre enthousiasme et je vous souhaite une excellente conférence. Have a wonderful conference, everyone. Bonne conférence à tous et à toutes. I would now like to turn things over to Yasmin Chowdhury and then to Ashbury College's student co-captains, Adam Musani and Alyssa Chow.
Good morning, Your Majesties, governors, representatives, delegates, and students. I'd like to begin by welcoming you all to Canada, to Ashbury College, and to the Round Square International Conference of 2018. As Mr. Southward said, my name is Yasmin Chowdhury, and I'm the student committee leader of this conference. I, along with a team of amazing student leaders, whom you will all be meeting throughout the week, have been working for over 2 years to make this conference the best it can be, while highlighting our school, our city, and of course, Round Square. Before I graduated from Ashbury this past June, I had the privilege to attend the last 3 Round Square International Conferences. So I know how excited, anxious, and eager you all must be to get started with RSIC 2018, meet new people, and hopefully learn a lot more about diversity and inclusion here in Canada and in the countries that you've all come from. Amidst all the fun and excitement, I urge you all to remember what has brought you here and think about how you can implement all of the information you will learn throughout the next week into your school or greater community. After the Round Square International Conference of 2015 at UWC in Singapore, I left feeling inspired. Being so far away from home and learning about the cultures and issues faced in an entirely different part of the world that I had been to before, I couldn't stop telling all my friends about my amazing experiences and all the interesting people that I met. I mentioned Round Square to anyone that I saw in the hallways, and I eventually decided to ask Mr. Southward if we could bring the conference here to Ashbury so that our entire school community could benefit from the perspectives that you all bring. Well, it's exciting to venture to a new, and the reason our schools are brought together every year. The purpose of this conference, as stated by Round Square, is to share perspectives, debate topical issues, forge friendships, support local communities, and develop international understanding. We have an action-packed conference itinerary for you in which you will learn through the Round Square ideals about the differences brought together here in Canada, and in which you'll have the opportunity to share the differences in your communities as well. I hope you all take advantage of the opportunity to engage in conversation with as many delegates as you can, to listen to the amazing lineup of keynote speakers, and to notice how the Round Square ideals have been threaded in throughout the conference. I'd like to finish off by reminding you all that this conference may only be 1 week long, but the inspiration and motivation to spark change in your community doesn't have to end on October 3rd. Whether you leave wanting to bring attention to minorities in your communities, or feel motivated to volunteer in your local areas, or even whether you leave wanting to propose that your school host the next RSIC, the theme of Bring Your Difference will have an impact on you at some point this week. Don't forget the way you feel after listening to an inspiring keynote or after ziplining in Gatineau Park. Reflect on these feelings and think about how you can inspire others to share your newfound passions and enthusiasms. Being a part of Round Square through your high school is a privilege, a great opportunity to broaden your international perspective. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, try new things, talk to new people. We only have 1 week together, so seize every moment and don't forget to allow yourself to take it all in. I hope that you all enjoy RSIC 2018, and I hope you're all ready to bring your difference.
Thank you, Mr. Southward and Yasmin.
We would now like to invite our school captains to come say a few words.
Good morning, students, staff, Round Square delegates, and guests. My name is Alyssa Chow.
And I'm Adam Husseini.
And we are Ashbury's school co-captains.
As co-captains, our role is to be the voice of the Ashbury student body and help create a positive environment in the school. We know many of you have traveled far and wide and may be feeling a little bit of jet lag, so just to get a feel, how's everyone doing? Good, good. Can I get a thumbs up? There we go.
We are absolutely thrilled to have such a diverse crowd, and we want to welcome you all to Canada, Ottawa, and specifically our Ashbury family. We want to thank the student body and all of the students who have led this conference because it has been 2 years in the making and it has taken a lot of hard work and dedication. In addition, all the activities that you will be participating in thread in through our theme, Bring Your Difference, and have the 6 Round Square ideals incorporated. Those are internationalism,
Democracy,
environmentalism,
adventure,
leadership,
and service. So while you're here, if you have any questions, feel free to ask Alyssa or myself or any of the staff and Round Square team. There are so many languages and cultures represented here today, but a smile is universal, so we hope you have all the reasons to keep a friendly smile on your face throughout your time here in Ottawa at Ashbury.
once again, welcome and thank you.
Thank you, Adam and Alyssa. Now we would like to take a few minutes to reflect upon the theme of this conference, which, as you can see up there, is Bring Your Difference.
Of course, this can be interpreted in a variety of different ways, but you may not have thought about it too much before coming here. When we say to bring your difference, we're not only talking about the different cultural and ethnic backgrounds we all bring to this conference, although that is part of it. To truly understand this theme, we must look deeper.
We understand that each and every one of us can never be exactly the same. If each and every one of us were the same, we never have any joy in meeting new people like we do at conferences such as these. We would never be able to learn, as it would be very hard to teach if we all be the same. And we would never progress as a people, and because of that, it's great that everybody here in this room is different. We can all cherish that difference.
Therefore, we must recognize difference as something that should be celebrated and cherished, as David has said, because it is what makes us who we are and what makes us unique. If we do not, we risk encouraging a society where everyone is the same, and it does not take too much imagination to think about what a society like that would look like. We live in a world that is rapidly changing, and it is us that is the future. We are the people who will bring the next great inventions, be the next star athlete, or the next great politician. Each of us has the power to change the world around us.
I want to challenge each person in this room to go community and beyond. During this conference, you will have a chance to meet new people, try new things, explore new places, and really focus on embracing your differences as well as those of others.
Whether that difference be the country you come from, your age, gender, or favorite sports team, we ask that you consider what makes you different and bring that with you every day of this conference, because what makes you different is what makes you, you.
Up next, we have a real treat for all of you. Last April, we celebrated our annual International Day at the school. During the talent show, 3 numbers were selected to have the opportunity to perform for you today.
Canada is a very diverse and multicultural country. Today, you will see an Irish dance and an Afro-Caribbean dance. Please put your hands together for the performers. Thank you very much, Ashbury students. Let's give them another big round of applause.
We would now like to invite His Majesty King Constantine to officially open the conference.
As president and patron of Round Square, His Majesty King Constantine has been actively involved since he chaired its formative meeting in 1966. As a teenager, His Majesty attended Anavnita School in Athens, which later became a founding Round Square school. At age 20, he won an Olympic gold medal in sailing.
His interests have continued to be in education, and in 1980 he founded the Hellenic College of London. His Majesty is an honorary member of the International Olympic Committee and a President of Honor of the International Sailing Federation. Welcome His Majesty King Constantine and Her Majesty Anne-Marie.
Ladies and gentlemen, students, on behalf of King Constantine and myself, we're delighted to join you for the 2018 Round Square International Conference here at Ashbury College. For more than 50 years, at the heart of the Round Square movement, events such as this has brought together diverse peoples from different countries, cultures, and perspectives to share, learn, understand, and be inspired to make a positive difference in the world. And that positive difference has never been more needed than it is right now. With nations pitted against one another, with national self-interest coming to the fore, and with our news feeds filled each day with the continuing horrors of war, global terrorism, displaced people, environmental disasters, and many, many examples of the breakdown of diplomacy. Together, we need to ensure that you, who could well be our next generation of social, political, and business leaders, are equipped to lead with greater international understanding, tolerance, courage, and compassion than your predecessors. As Kurt Hahn said, there is more in you than you think. Conference delegates, I hope that you have a wonderful week together. With our gratitude and good wishes to our host schools, I'm delighted to officially declare the 2018 Round Square International Conference at Ashbury College open. Don't forget to enjoy every single minute you're here.
Thank you very much.
Before we begin the flag ceremony, can everybody please stand for the playing of our national anthem?
Thank you, Ashbury Ben and Matthias.
It's now time for the flag ceremony. Every school will have one representative walk their flag to the stage and stay standing beside their flag. There will be time for a group photo after all the flags have been brought up to the front.
Let's begin. Aiglon, Switzerland.
AKS, Lytham, UK.
Ananya Shirakatsi, Armenian National Lyceum.
Ashbury College, Canada.
Assam Valley School, India.
Bishop's College School, Canada.
Box Hill School, UK.
Bridge House School, South Africa.
Buckingham Brown and Nichols School, USA.
Bunbury Cathedral Grammar School, Australia.
Cadet College Hassan Abdal, Pakistan. Unfortunately, they are not here at the moment, but we would like to welcome them to this conference nonetheless.
Kate School, USA.
Christ College, New Zealand.
Colegio Los Nogales, Colombia.
Craig House School, Chile.
Alarki School, Morocco.
Epsom College in Malaysia, Malaysia.
Fountain Valley School of Colorado, USA.
Gordonston School, UK.
Gut Wunberg School, Germany.
Hebron Academy, USA.
HIM Academy Public School, India.
Hotchkiss School, USA.
International Community School, Kumasi, Ghana.
Ivanhoe Grammar School, Australia.
Casey Public School, India.
Keystone Academy, China.
Latimer Upper School, UK.
Clifford K. International School, Bahamas.
Miles Bronson Residential School, India.
Modern School, Garakamba Road, India.
Modi School, India.
Rajkumar College, India.
Rye County Day School, USA.
Schule Bergerhof, Germany.
Sindhya Kanya Vidyalaya, India.
Scotch Oakburn College, Australia.
St. Clement School, Canada.
St. Constantine School, Tanzania.
St. George's Grammar School, South Africa.
St. Wilfrid's Lightburn School, Canada.
Strathcona Tweensmere School, Canada.
Kanagawa Academy, Japan.
The British School, Jakarta, Indonesia.
School, India.
The Emerald Heights International School, India.
Marblewood School, USA.
The Punjab Public School, India.
Isanskar Valley School, India.
The Scindia School, India.
Global School, USA.
India Devi Jindal School, India.
Westminster School, Australia.
Whitley School, Australia.
Ashbury Public School, India.
Yakumo Academy, Japan.
Finally, we are very lucky to welcome the Bio Girls College School from India. Please put your hands together for all of the participating schools. Delegates, please return to your seats.
Six new schools have become new global round square schools.
Each year at the Round Square International Conference, we take the opportunity to recognize those schools that during the year have made the journey from becoming a Round Square candidate school to a fully fledged global member of the Round Square community.
Global membership is a milestone achievement granted by a two-step process that first asks for the endorsement of the heads of all existing global members in the school's regions, and then a review and vote of the Round Square Worldwide Board of Trustees. In a moment, we will announce this year's new global member schools.
Please, can I ask the delegation from each school to come to the front row when their school is announced to receive their Round Square flag, pin, and membership certificate from His Majesty King Constantine. The Marblewood School, Constantine. The Marblewood School.
Christ's College.
Christ College. Yakumo Academy.
AKS Lytham.
At Warmbird School.
KC Public School.
Yadavindra Public School. Thank you, His Majesty King Constantine, and a big welcome to all the new students.
We would like to invite Rachel Westgarth to say a few words.
She is the CEO of Round Square since 2016 and has worked with Round Square since 2013. Let's welcome her to the stage.
What a fantastic opening ceremony Ashbury put on for us today. Wonderful to see all the smiling faces and the flags come in. It really was tremendous. I want to start by thanking a few people. Thank you to Norman, Brian, Padme, Eric, Marie-Claude, Diane, and of course all of the staff team that have really supported the organising this event. Mostly though, I want to thank the students. I want to thank the student committee leaders, Matthias and Yasmin, and all of the members of the student committee. We've seen lots of MCs and various people that have been involved come up to the stage. As we all know, Round Square events are student events, very much so, and they are organised and led and managed and designed by the student teams. And so I think we should all start off this event by thanking them for the efforts and the inspiration that they've put into organising such a fabulous opening ceremony. So day one, already we're being challenged to think differently. We've come from Lower Canada College, a few of us, where a conference just like this one has been organised and has finished in the past couple of days. There's a shared theme and many shared activities. 1,140 delegates from 170 round square schools have come together to Canada. And this is one of 3 host schools that are hosting the conference over the next few days. The experience is going to be the same at each of these conferences, but it's also going to be completely different. Each host school puts their own flavour, their own spirit, their own ideas, their own activities into the week's programme. And I'm sure we're all hugely excited to discover what the week ahead has in store. We are all bringing our difference to Ottawa. Across the Round Square community this year, more students in more Round Square schools than ever before have been embracing the ideals, experiencing character education in the classroom, heading out on exchange overseas, support lots of ways, and jumping in with both feet at conference experiences just like this one. As Her Majesty said in His Majesty's opening speech, the world has much to gain from your engagement with Round Square themes and activities within and beyond your school. Of course, these experiences also bring benefits to you at a personal level. By the time you enter the world of work, the average working life will span over 50 years or more. For most of you, this could mean 5 or 6 or more different careers, some of which you will create for yourselves, and many of which probably don't even exist as a thing that you can do yet. To succeed, you're going to need to be unafraid to be different, willing to understand, celebrate, and apply your unique talents, and appreciate and draw on the unique talents of others. In today's world of work, it's no longer desirable to fit in and to conform. Employers and universities are increasingly looking for uniqueness. They're looking for specialness. Pitching for business startup funding has become less like a meeting at a bank and more like the process of auditioning for the X Factor. Whatever you go on to next, someone, a decision maker somewhere, is going to inevitably want to know what makes you different, what makes you special, why should they pick you above anybody else. Your success is going to lie in how well you stand out from the crowd, not how similar you are to everybody else. As Coco Chanel, that famous orator, once famously said, in order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. So please make the most of this week, the opportunity to bring your difference, to explore and celebrate your differences, and perhaps find some similarities hidden inside. Make many friends, exchange ideas, and learn about one another. You're going to have some great adventures. Serve the local community. You will hear some fantastic speakers, explore the conference theme in mixed baraza discussions, and spend quality time immersed in local everyday life with your host families, getting a real taste of Canadian culture and heritage. Soak it in, cherish it, absorb it, hang on to every second. This week is going to change you forever. We ask you to bring your difference. You will inevitably explore and celebrate difference. Hopefully, you will be inspired to go home and make a difference, but also you're going to take away a difference. You're going to take away a positive change in you as well. Take the opportunity, seize it, don't fight it. Allow this conference experience to change you. I hope you have a fantastic week.
Thank you, Mrs. Westgarth. This now brings us to the end of opening ceremonies.
We thank you for being a great audience, and we hope you enjoy our nation's capital.
We're going to need a couple of minutes to get our next keynote speaker ready, but at this time we'd like everyone to stay in the gym, except for the grades 4, 5, and 6s who are asked to leave the gym quietly.
works.